So overall, we have 11 documents. Now let's do some grouping for our documents. For example, let's assume that documents with the odd number documents are data that we have collected from participants from KL, and those documents with an even number, they contain the data we have collected from people in Penang. All right. So what I can do is that I can simply click on the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, and then I click on one of them, drag and drop them under this area. Then I asked for a name for this new document group, so I just write here KL group. It means that the documents contain the data I collected from people in KL. So I just click on create, and now I have my KL group, right? If I click on that, you can see the members on the right hand side. If I click on the white area here, you can see all of the documents. Now I select document number 2. Yes.
How did you just click over? Did you have to like left click or?
No, I just press your control button and select on any documents that you would like to group. So I just press my control button, then I select on the first document, this document, number 6, 8, and 10. Then I click on one of them, drag and drop it here. So it will be Penang group. Okay? So you can see that Penang group contains 5 documents, KL group contains 6 documents, right? If you click on any of them, you can see the members here. Also note that there is a column for groups in front of each of these documents, which just tells us these documents come from KL group, right? If I click here, you can see the grouping for different documents. Now let's assume that document 1 until document 6 contain the data we collected from female participants. So I just drag and drop them here, then female group. And the document D until D10 contain the data we collected from male participants. So it will be male group. So you can see that any document could be a member of multiple groups. So this just makes it much easier for you to organize and manage your data, isn't it? So I can create document groups, for example, based on data type, for example. So I can group the textual data like PDF and text data, and then just create another group for text group, and maybe the audio, image, and the video file under the category of multimedia group, right? All right. So I think for text group we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So one document I forgot to add here. Which one is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 7. So 7, I just add it here like that. So you can add members to the groups by dragging and dropping any of these into any of the existing groups as well. Is it clear? Very good. So this is how you can simply create groups. If you want, you can rename the document groups by clicking on this. Just change the name, rename it. If you want, you can delete the group. The group doesn't delete your documents from your project, so you are just deleting the grouping factor, not the main documents in your project. Is it clear? You can add a comment for your groups. For example, for this female group, I just add a comment. This group contains data from female participants. And then I save it. And now you can see there is one yellow dot here. This means that there is one comment for this particular group. Is it clear? So when you add comment to something, normally a yellow sign appears on the top side of that particular icon. Is it clear? So basically, this is what you can do for document groups. You can group them, you can rename them, you can delete them, you can add a comment for them. And if you want, you can export the name of the documents to an Excel file, share it with someone if you want. So basically, these are quite simple things, but at the same time, very important. Because just imagine you only have one document, but this document is a member of 3 groups. So you don't need to create 3 identical files for this, and just put it in different groups. So that file is virtually assigned to 3 different groups. Is it clear? Yes?
Yeah.
Very. So this is how we can do some groupings and document management. If you want, you can also rename the document itself, or duplicate it, or copy that, paste it somewhere. So if I want, for example, to rename one of these documents, I can just change this to maybe paper one, for example, paper one. And then it is renamed everywhere. Even if I go here, you can see that it is already renamed, right? So this is how you can do some management of your data. If you want to delete any of these documents, you can simply click on them and then delete it from your project. This will delete your document because you have already selected a document here. So never do that. Deleting groups is fine because it's just a factor. You really don't delete the document. But deleting the document itself means that you are removing from the project. So this is how we can do some document management and organization, and basically it might look a little bit simple, but I tell you, it solves a lot of problems. You manage to categorize and organize your data in some meaningful groups. And specifically, this is very important because it can help you to do some group comparison. So for example, later I will show you tomorrow morning when you would like to compare 2 groups. For example, you want to compare performance across 2 groups. Maybe performance is one of the codes or any of the other codes that we have in this project. Then this grouping can be helpful, and you can just use these groupings to make the comparisons. All right, now that we have created these document groups, if we go to the Explorer, you can see that under document groups, I have a value of 6. This means that I have created these 6 groups here. They are already listed here as well. If I click on any of them, you can see the members, right? In this document, if I click on this, you can see the quotation. If I click on this triangle, you can see the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So basically everything is under your control, right? Any questions? All right. Okay, so remember, by default, when we created two in vivo codes, ATLAS.ti has already created a grouping for those in vivo codes that we created in the morning, if you remember. So this is something that has been done automatically by ATLAS.ti, but I will show you how you can make some groups for codes as well. Now let's do some grouping, some code management and organization. That is actually very important. The thing that I'm going to explain to you right now is very important. Let's go to the slide. Where is workshop? Here. Here. So codes can be defined, as you can see, as you already saw this morning. We could create quotations. Let's go to this document. So you could simply create quotations and define your codes. For example, maybe code N. You just define the code here, very simple. If you want, you can just go here and create a new code. You can define your code. Maybe code O, right? I just create that and it appears here under the codes. If I just come here, you can see that this is the code N with one quotation, which is this one, and also quotation and also code O that I defined. So basically you can define the codes and you already know how it can be done. Next is renaming a code. This is very interesting because when you rename any codes, it will be applied in your entire research. All right, let's just close all of this. For example, look at this code, which is code A. I can right click on that and I can select rename. I just change this with AA. Is it clear? And then if I click rename, this code now has changed to AA, right? And if I click on this code, you can see all of the 7 quotations in a new window. So these are the quotations. And you can see that the codes has also changed to AA here, right? So anytime that you change a code, immediately it is applied in the entire project, right? So basically renaming a code is also very simple. And the moment you change a code, you rename a code, it is applied in the entire project. So you don't need to do it manually, changing. I mean, just imagine here we had 7 codes, 7 quotations coded with code A, and they come from different documents, right? So if one comes from document 1, one comes from document 5, one comes from document 6, one comes from document 9, one comes from, and 2 comes from document 10, right? So if you don't use software, then you have to go to all of these documents and then make all of these changes manually, which is really a big headache. But now, after you just rename the code, it is applied in your entire project. All right, let me just go to codes, code management window, code manager. You can also rename the codes here as well. So not only you can do it here, renaming a code, you can also rename a code here. So I just right click on that and rename this to BB. And it will be applied to all of the quotations in this particular project. Is it clear? So this is how you can rename a code. Also note that you can select a code here, and here you can select rename. Again, you can rename the code here as well. All right? So any questions with respect to renaming a code? I showed you how you can rename it using the Explorer section, using the code manager, and also using this repo, right? Okay. Next is define, rename, deleting a code. So if you want to delete a code, you can simply right click on that and select delete. So I just right click on this and select delete, and then the code is deleted from my project. Also here you can see that there is no code here for O, because I deleted code O. How about this one, code N? It has one quotation as well, right? Because the groundedness value for this quotation, for this code is 1. So there is one quotation coded with the code N. Now if I want to delete this code, I just click on that. I can either right click and select delete, or I just go here and click on this button. So when I click delete, it says that you are about to delete the code and this will leave one orphaned quotations, which means that you have one quotation. Now it is not coded with any other codes. So orphaned quotation means that a quotation that is not coded with any codes. Delete orphan quotation. After removing this code, you can select whether to delete that particular quotation or not. So I prefer to delete that because I don't want to have any orphan quotations in my project. I want all of the quotations being coded with something. All right, but it's up to you. You need to decide here. So I just select yes, and immediately the code N as well as the quotation coded with this code will be deleted from my project. Done. Any questions? Another thing here is duplicated. Now I just give you one example. Let's assume that you have coded your data and you just show this to your supervisor, okay? You just tell your supervisor that, Prof, I have 7 quotations, or maybe here, I have 2 quotations coded with facilitating collective learning. I have 2 quotations with coded with facilitating collective learning, all right? And you just show the quotations to him or her. So you can simply show the quotations to him or her, and then your supervisor will tell you, that is a good job, thank you, but I think it will be a good idea that you code these 2 quotations with maybe learning or e-learning as well, because they are also related to e-learning. All right? So how you can do this in an effective and efficient way? Very simple. You just need to duplicate this code. So I can right click on this under the Explorer, select duplicate, or I can select it here, right click, select duplicate, or I just click duplicate, which is not here. So basically there are 2 options here. So I just select duplicate here. Now when I duplicate, what happens is that the same code with the same quotations are created. What I need to do is that I select the second one, or the first one makes no difference, and rename it to e-learning. All right? So what I did is that I had 2 quotations coded with facilitative collective learning. Now I have the same quotations, but this time coded with facilitative collective learning and also e-learning. If I double click on any of them, you can see that I have the same quotations. Now both of them are coded with facilitating collective learning and also e-learning. So isn't it really beautiful? Because just now we have a very simple example, just 2 quotations coded with one code in a very simple project. Imagine that you have a lot of quotations, a lot of codes, and then your supervisor suddenly tells you to apply some certain number of codes to some quotations. So if you use this technique, you will be able to do it automatically without worrying about making any errors in this process or any mistakes in this process. You are clear about what I did just now? Any questions? Online people, did you understand what I did?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no problem, no questions?
No problem.
All right, let me just do another example just to make sure that you completely understood what I did. I have maybe this one, 7 quotations. I have 7 quotations coded with the code AA. I go to my supervisor says, you did a good job. Let me see the quotations. I double click on the quotations. I explore the quotations for him. And then he says that it's good, but I think rather than AA, these quotations, all of them, should be coded with another 2 codes, maybe ZZ and XX. Okay, so how I can do this in an effective way? Well, it's very simple. I just need to duplicate this code for 2 times because he wants XX and ZZ, right? So I duplicate it. Again, I duplicate this. Now I rename this to XX and the other one to ZZ, right? Finished. If I just click on any of these now, you can see that these 7 quotations have been coded with all of these, AA, XX, and ZZ. Right? Any questions? No? All right. Now, what else? Merging 2 codes. Imagine that you have these codes, and you have a lot of quotations coded with them. You go to your supervisor will tell you, I think maybe code I mean, you don't need to have different codes for these quotations, for these 3 and this 1 quotation. Here we have 3 quotations, here we have 1. So your supervisor will tell you, better to change, to code these quotations, these 4 quotations here with another code, maybe code T, all right? So I can simply merge these 2, or I can simply, first, I need to select them, right click on them, and then select merge, okay? And then it says, select the code into which other codes will be merged. So I select I so that J is merged to I. So I just click on merge code. Now what happens is that I still have 3. It is because I had one overlapping codes here. Let me just undo this. You know, one of the quotations here has been coded with both of them. If I double click on I, you can see that I have 5.1, 5.2, and 8.1. And if I click on this, you can see that I have 5.2. So 5.2 is common between these 2, right? That's why the number didn't increase to 4. Let me just try something else so that you can better see the result. Maybe this J is just J and or gender-oriented leadership, e-learning. Okay, this is better. Let's just assume that you would like to merge change-oriented leadership with e-learning. So you want to merge these 2 codes. This means that all of the quotations also should be connected to the merged codes. And then later you want to change the name of these 2 into e-learning leadership, something like that, e-learning leadership. How you can do that? You can simply select these 2, right click on one of them and then select merge. And then I select change-oriented leadership. because I want all the quotations under e-learning to be coded with this change-oriented leadership. And then after that, e-learning will be removed from my project. So if I click on merge, you can see that e-learning has already been removed, and here I have 3 quotations here. Previously for this I had 2, right? And I had 1 for e-learning. Now I have 3. I can, in the next step, I can rename this to e-learning leadership, for example. E-learning leadership. Now what I did is that I had 2 codes with different set of quotations. I merged them into one unique code, and then I renamed that code. What is the result of this process? I have one new code with 3 quotations. Is it clear? All of you understood what I did? Yes? Any questions? Online people, any questions? No? Okay, let's do another example. I have one quotation coded with F, which is this one, 91, code 91, quotation 91, and another one, quotation 52, right? So this one and this one. I want to merge these 2. So basically, if I merge these 2, what happens is that I will have a new code with 2 quotations, one from J, one from F. Is it clear? I'm merging the codes and their associated quotations. Is it clear? So how I can do that? I just select them. Even you can select multiple quotations, multiple codes, and merge multiple codes rather than just 2 codes. But in this example, I'm just merging 2 codes. So I right click on that, I select merge, or even you can, you don't have the merge button here. Anyways, I thought maybe it's here. And then you just select merge, select one of these. For example, I want to keep F and remove J. Then F will have 2 quotations because right now it has 1. There is also 1 under J. So if I keep JF and J is removed, then this quotation will move here. So I just click on merge, and now you can see that it becomes 2. And also there is one yellow sign here. If I just right click on that and click on edit comment, you can see that basically it just writes here J, which means that I have merged the quotations from the code J into the code F. And now if I want, I can change this, rename this code if I want to. For example, I just rename it to FF. Any questions? No? Any questions? Yes, this is the next step. Merging then is splitting is another one. So what is a splitting? A splitting means that you have one code with a certain number of quotations. Now you go to your supervisor tells you that, okay, you have 10 quotations for this code. I think better you just assign 5 of these to another code and 5 of these quotations to another code. So you split these 10 quotations into some other codes. So this is the opposite of merging, isn't it? It's the opposite of merging. So how we can do that? It's very simple. Let's just select one of these codes, maybe this one. All right. So here I have 3 quotations coded with code I, right? And I want to split it into maybe 3 new codes, each of them with 1 quotation. Does it make sense? I have 1 code with 3 quotations. I want to split this code into 3 codes, each with 1 quotation. Is it clear? How I can do that? I just select the code. You don't need to select multiple codes here because you're splitting, you're not merging. So I right click on that and I select a split code. Okay? Now the quotations are displayed to me. So the quotations under I are here. These 3 quotations, 51, 5.2 and 8.1. Now I can add some new codes. For example, I1, I2, I3. Is it clear? And now I can select, for example, this quotation 5.1, to be coded with I1, this one to be coded with I2, this one to be coded with I3. Also, you can select multiple codes. For example, maybe 8.1, I want to code it with I2 and I3, so I select here as well. Is it clear? So you can select the combination as well. Not only you can assign one of these codes to quotations to any of these codes, but also you can have a combination like this. Quotation 8.1 is coded with I2 and I3. Is it clear? So if I click a split code, it says that the original code is no longer associated with any quotations. Would you like to delete it? Yes, because I don't want I anymore. So instead of one I have I1, I2, I3. Remember, I1 was, I assigned one quotation for I1, for I2, 2 quotations, and for I3, another 1 quotation, right? Is it clear? So that's why you can split a code into some subcodes, something like that. Is it clear? Any questions? Let me do another example for you. Look at this ZZ. I want to split this into maybe ZZ1 and ZZ2. All right, so I just right click on that. I select a split code. If I select a split into subcodes, what happens is that it just the same procedure, but similar procedure, but also you can have some information here. But let's just focus on the split as hello. We just focus on the split. So a split codes. If you want to do subcodes, then you can. Subcode is just a lower level of a normal code, something like that. It's subcode under another code. So I just select the split code, and then I just select add codes here, maybe ZZ1 and ZZ2. Okay, now I want to assign this one, the first quotation, the second one, the third one to ZZ1, also the fourth one, fifth one, sixth, and 7 to ZZ2. So 3 quotations for ZZ1, 4 quotations for ZZ2, right? At the same time, you can also keep them here, under ZZ as well. If you feel that you also need ZZ, code ZZ in your project, you can also tick here. But when you do that, what happens is that this code, this quotation is coded with ZZ and also coded with ZZ2. Is it clear? So if I just click on a split code, you can see that I have ZZ with only 1 quotation. I have ZZ1 with 3 quotations, ZZ2 with 4 quotations. Is it clear? Yes? Any questions? Another issue with respect to code management is that you can comment the code. So if you want to add comments to any of the codes, you can select any of them, just click on comment, or right click on that, select edit comment, or right click on them here and select edit comment as well. So basically you can add a comment for this code. So for example, I just add a comment here. This code is not that much important. Whatever you want, you can add here. You can change it to bold and save it. And then immediately you can see this yellow sign here. It just tells you that there is a comment here for this code. If you right click on that and select edit comment, you can see the comment itself here as well. Is it clear? Yes? So this is adding comment to a code. Very simple. Next, we have coloring a code. So that is good, especially when you create networks. So you can apply some colors to some certain codes for any reasons, all right? I just select, for example, this code from here until here and apply a color, maybe red, to that. So you can see this red sign here. For this one, I mean, you should have some strong reasoning for doing this. I mean, it gives you some, I mean, how to say, it just gives you some more power in terms of managing your codes in the networks that you will be going to create later today. So I select these two and these three, and maybe I just change the color to yellow, to orange. For these three, I select maybe blue. Okay? So this is good. Why? Because later, when I show you how you can create networks, let me just create a network. You don't need to, I mean, I just want to show you how this coloring works. So if I drag and drop this here, you can see that it is displayed in red. This one is displayed in blue. This one is displayed in orange. So this is the color that I have already applied here. You get my point? So this coloring is in fact helpful, especially when you create a network between different codes and when you want to connect them using some arrows and just creating a network between the data elements. So this coding is especially essentially important when it comes to creating networks. Also, it's a matter of managing and organizing your codes based on some colors. Is it clear? Yes? It doesn't have any analytical value, but it has a lot of visual value. All right? Any questions? Online people, are you with us? Any questions? Okay. Next, we have linking the codes. Okay. One of the easiest ways to link two codes is that you just drag and drop the codes on one another. So for example, if this code is related, if K and L are related to one another in some ways, you can simply select one of them, drag and drop them on the other one. And then you can simply define how they are related to one another. So for example, maybe code K is a cause of code L. So I just managed to link them. And here you can see the density value changes to 1 for both of them. Because there is one, because basically they are linked to one another. Is it clear? Let me just show you one more example. Maybe code XX is related to code ZZ. So you just click on ZXX, drag and drop it on ZZ. Then ATLAS.ti tells you, okay, how do you want to link them? Do you want to merge them or do you want to link them? So if you want to link them, how do you want to link them? Is XX a property of ZZ? Does it contradict ZZ? Is it a part of ZZ? Is it, I mean, just a no-name relationship, meaning that they are somehow in some ways related to one another, but you are not still sure about the nature of this relationship? Is XX a cause of ZZ? Is it a ZZ itself? I mean, maybe something under that? Or is it associated with ZZ? So you can simply define, you can use any of these, or you can define a new type of relationship. But in majority of the cases, normally what you have here, what is offered by software is already more than enough. So you don't need to create new relationship types. So let me just select a cos of. So XX is a cos of ZZ. So here you can see that I have XX and ZZ, and their density values have already changed. So ZZ, the density value is 2, which means that there are 2 codes in my, there are 2 other codes in my project that are connected to ZZ.
So is linking how you change the density? Is this the only way for them to?
No, you can also create a network,
And that will change the density.
and then you can see how they are working. Basically, whatever, just look at this, whatever I did in the previous section, it is already applied here. I told you, whatever you do, basically it is done immediately. And just imagine, I mean, it's really interesting because these codes are in fact variables. So what is a theory? A theory is it's just something that can help us understand how variables are related to one another. And now if you look at here, you can see that basically, you can see that this variable is a cause of this variable is a cause of this variable. So basically it's really easy to understand. All right? So any questions? You can also drag and drop the codes from here as well under the Explorer. So for example, look at this. I just drag and drop this here. And I just define a relationship between them. Then you can see that the density value for both of them is 1 now. Is it clear? So I just link these two here. Even under the Explorer, you can do that. Under the code manager, you can also do that. Let me just connect, look at this. I want to connect these two, link these two. I just drag this, drop it here, and define the relationship. Now the density for both of them changes from 0 to 1 because there is one code in the project connected with G. There is one code in the project connected with FF. Is it clear? Any questions? Now, let me show you these density values as well in a network. Let me just click on the network. I will talk about networks later, but just to show you how we can create a network. Let me just create a network. And 1, for example. If I just drag this here, you can see this. If I right click on that and just request for showing the neighbors other codes, then here you can see that there is another code already connected with this. I will talk to you about this when I'm teaching you the network, so don't worry about that. I want you to know that, look at this, the density value for this is 1 because ZZ2 is connected to this. The density value for ZZ2 is also 1 because ZZ1 is connected to ZZ2. Is it clear? Now I'm going to add this, and I'm going to show the neighbors, add the neighbors, the other codes that are connected to this. Here you can see that the density value for ZZ, it is 2, right? That is because I1 and XX are connected to ZZ. Is it clear? You don't need to do it right now. You just listen to me. I want you to understand the concept of density only. I will teach you the network in the next slide. So you don't need to do it right now. Okay. It might be confusing. I'm just telling you that look at this. ZZ, look at that. The Z, for ZZ, the density value is 2. I told you density means how many codes we have in a project that are connected to our code, right? So the density is 2, and here you can see the value of 2. 1, 2. Is it clear?
Yeah.
How about ZZ1? What is the density? It is 1. So this is the only code linked to ZZ1. How about ZZ2? The density is 1. So basically for ZZ2, this is the only code that is connected to ZZ2. Is it clear? So this is the concept of density. How many codes we have that are connected to our code. Is it clear? Yes? You don't need to understand this network. I will talk to you about this. But since I wanted to tell you that you can link codes, that's why I just demonstrated the linkage between codes using a network that is visual and it is easier to understand. All right?
Yeah.
Next is import and export. I'm not going to, I can show it to you, never mind. Let me just export the codes and then maybe we just import the code. But I think exporting it should be enough. I want to export the code list that I have in this project. How many codes do I have? I have 22 codes, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
If you want to export these codes, you can simply go to import export option and then select code book here. And then you can select Excel file or QDC format. So there are two formats for you to export your, here, we want to export it here, code book. So you can select XLSX or Excel file or QDC. So there are two formats that you can use. I select Excel file and then I'm just going to save it somewhere, export the code book in an Excel worksheet. All right. So I just select a name for this, maybe on my desktop, my project, save. So this will be the name of this project. And I just include headers, open code list in Excel as well. When it is exported, just open the list in Excel file. So if I just click on export, what happens is that you can see all of the codes that I have in this project in an Excel file. So this is the name of the codes, as you can see, and also the colors that I applied to some of these codes already displayed here. If the codes have comments, they are also displayed here. And also for code groups, if there are code groups, the information is also exported. So you can export your codes to Excel file using this feature of importing and exporting. Now, if you want, you can just import this Excel file using this option, because here I told you, this is the import section, this is the export section, right? Look at these arrows. Arrow pointing to the button indicates that you are importing something. Arrows pointing to the top indicates that you are exporting something. All right. So if you want to import a code book, you can simply click on this, select Excel file, locate that particular file. I just put it here. This is the file. And then you open it, then it will be imported into your project. But I'm not going to do that. Is it clear?
Right.
All right. Then we have grouping with each other. So you can create code groups. So how we can do that? Similar to what we did for documents. You select the codes. Let me just assign some colors to these codes as well. Maybe this color, and for these, maybe this color. All right. So I'm going to select this code, maybe this code, this code, this code, this code, and drag and drop them here. So it will be code group A, for example. Then I select this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, drag and drop it here. It will be code group B. Then from here to here, code group C. And then from here to here, code group D. So you can simply create the code groups, and if you click on any of them, you can see the members. See, you can see the members and this in this area. If I click in this white area, you can see all of the codes. Also, remember there is one column here, groups, and basically it contains all of the groups. So look at this. Envisioning change is a member of group A, group B, group C, and also in vivo codes. Is it clear? So a code could be a member of multiple code groups. Okay? Is it clear? So this is how you can manage codes. Just to review everything, we created codes, we renamed them, we deleted them, we merged them, we split them, we colored them, we commented them, we created groups, and we linked them. So what else we need? It's actually very, very good. And just imagine, without the software, you cannot do all of this. Actually, none of these can be done. All right, so this is a matter of, it was a matter of code management and organization. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you 10 minutes, not break time, practice time, to just play with the codes. Try to merge them, split them, delete them. All right, just 10 minutes, because I want you to be very clear about this, because after this I'm going to teach you networks, and then we are going to use these codes in a network. I mean, it's not a difficult job to do, but when you have good understandings of code management, it can be beneficial to better understand how we create network and how we design these visualizations. Okay, so online people, do you have any questions? Any questions?
No.
All right. So please, while the people in the room are trying to play with the codes and do some code management, you also do this there, I mean at home. And then if you face any issues, you can share your screen, and then I can answer your questions. If you didn't face anything, any problems, we will continue with the rest of the presentation, which I think will focus on networks. Yes. So it's 2:25. We will continue at 3:35. All right?
Okay.
I will be around. If you have questions, you can ask me.
这么难的这个题，那你这个直接说哪儿？我这已经是上单位来了，我CBD 的。哦，我这个版本完全不一样，所以我就费解了。这边说我一直在找，跟不上，版本都不一样，因为我这儿。 现在一个呢？哇！选过一个，然后你选这个网络，然后是你那这个结果是什么？然后哪个帮我们来过这个上头题啊？ 因为你们这边别人都是一个人选，他们这个单体的一个测里面直接那个，对啊，但是他这个是看他出来，他也是就是用一次的好的，一个是他下边找啥，还是你选根本必须得抓还是这样就。是用这个就是把我的这个就我去看他是 对，哎，这点光这个放，还有是要把它拖过来，拖过来，一般上就10分钟，700然后我以为是不用比如说我看 AI 是它的谁什么哦，哎，那手动边啊，对，我还是什么有问题吗？就是看我，比如说我访问了50个人，是不是？50个人，没有，我还是要一个一个数吗？没有，它有，就是你不用编，它帮你编，但是这是个 AI，还有这个是有一点用，但是不能全部。你编错了吗？你这个图是在哪？我一直在找这个图，它是第3个键，第3个键收在哪啊？你说的那个功能有，它是这个 AI 的，所以他才推荐这个的 code，它有个 AI 编的，而且它是分，而且当然呢，我一直在找着，再牛的软件都是这块的靠人工来识别。我就说，我以为它那个样，看所有计算时间自然时间，我以为就是说，我看完了一篇，然后标码之后，剩下的我就按照这个往里放，然后它就出了。我有说有 AI，但是说他们说啊，只是说那个 AI 给你东西只是一个启发，就是说哦，原来可以这么编，可能你少哪个。但是如果按照这个的话，你还是得一个一个读完了之后。你讲更安一点，我还是一个一个像读的那个样子编嘛。对，只是说他帮我整理了，就有点像他帮你记录了，他只是说还是做标记，对，做标记，然后节省后面的时间，可能后面分析可能会更快。可能因为我还没有到后面。墨汁是哪个？墨汁啊，墨汁是哪个？它也有在里边，没找着哪个是墨，你点开一个一个玩。你是我，然后这个show embedded show that work 这个时候找得到。它这个 merge 就是你拖过来它就 merge 了，它是这样子，就是说你看，就是你拖它了嘛，你拖上来它就问你 merge 了，就是你把它搞到这样就 merge 了，是你得拖动它，就是 merge code，code，就是9个。Names，为什么涉及到上瘾操作？Speak speaker speaker speaker，这没说。是刚才。这个真是行，这个现在出的。还有圣诞，merge，我们这两件好了。因为我们的编码是完全，我的 merge 来了，我知道这么做，merge进去了， 这个点不动了，分开，那是3个，保留了一个雷丁笔，因为其实我们在桌子上的。搞到一个那个我好奇，我那个玩的，但是你的用是不是会有？哦，是啥？一样过，这样个。谁出编那个编码和哪个编的？首先自己编，我没看到觉得那是错误，这句话是错误的。对呀，上次我编的之前你要起到每遍。他说其实没有要做定性研究，会对你的材料分析，然后你知道那个编码吗？对，是你的文化的研究大学开展一切。像我编的，像这里报也可以研究的，一样的，但是你手动它就是累啊，就是你比如说，它这个频次啊，如果多的话就很资本那个，就是晚上，然后这边说编码，下来20个说那个是学生的就是它总共是5个，连着打，我把前面那个完了。
Okay, any questions? All right. So if you don't have questions, let me just share with you something that is important, and then we continue with networks. You know, I told you that you can simply create a project model and share it with your supervisor in case that he or she needs evidence of data analysis from you. Another way is that you prepare a nicely formatted report of what you have done automatically and send it to him or her. So I'm just going to show you how you can create a report for the documents, but for other elements also it will be the same. And how you can save it as a PDF file or Microsoft Word document so that later you can further edit it and then send it to your supervisor. All right? So if you just go to the document section, home and documents here, you can see there is one option here, export, and then you have the report, right? So under the document, I mean, even if you go to codes, you can create a report for codes, but I'm just doing this for the documents. All right. So you just click on report, and then here you can select what you want to be included in your report. So I want all of these 11 documents in my report. Is it clear? Or if you want, you can select a certain number of documents, maybe this one, and this one. And then you click on report. Then here it says that selected items, which is these 3 selected documents, or all the documents. Is it clear? Yes?
Yeah.
So I'm just selecting all the 11 documents. And here you can select what to be included in your project, in your report. Normally, type of content and dates and users could be some general information, useful general information that you share with your supervisor or with your colleagues. If there are any comments for the documents, you can select this so that the comments for these documents are also included in your report. Is it clear? Then you can select, do not select content for the documents, because if you select content, all of the textual documents are included in your report. So your report will be a very long report. So you don't want to include the content of the documents. But if you create this for quotations, maybe you would like to add the contents of the quotations. So I'm not going to select content, but under quotations, I want to show the quotations in my report and the content of the quotations as well. So quotations, content under quotations, not content under documents. Is it clear? You want to show the content of the quotations, not the content of the documents. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Because why you would like to include all the textual contents for your supervisor? I mean, he will not certainly read that. But if you give him or her a concise report, then it makes sense. I think that is enough. Content. Also, if there are codes, if you want to provide information about the codes that have been assigned to quotations, you can select that. So under quotations, always select content and also the codes. You can select, I mean, you can go to different levels and select different options. The more you select, the more complex your report will be. So I think this is a very standard and concise type of report with these selections. Is it clear? So again, let's have a look at, let's review everything. Type of the content or type of the document is okay, date and users. Comments of the documents, fine. Quotations in each of the documents, and for the quotations, more specific information, including the content of the quotation and the codes that are assigned to the quotations. Is it clear? If I just click on create report, ATLAS.ti will give me a very nice report. So this is the report that we have. Let's just explore the, before I explore the report, I just show you that basically you can save this file as a PDF or a Microsoft Word document. So if you don't like the format of this report, you can save it as a Microsoft Word document. Later you can edit it and then send it to your supervisor. But I think the current format is fine. You can simply save it as PDF if you want. So it's up to you to decide which one to select. But let's see what we have in this report. Look at this. The name of the project, right? Report created by which person and on which day. Is it clear? So this is a document report. It contains 11 documents, right? Is it clear? This is the section for document 1. The name of the document was paper 1, as you can also see it here, right? The format of this document is PDF. And there is only one quotation in this particular document, right? The quotation was created by me on this date, later modified by me on this date again. Is it clear? And this is the quotation, the content of the quotation. Remember, we requested the content of the quotation. The quotation number is 11 in page 2 of this document. Is it clear? This is the number of quotation, 11, right? And here you can see the quotation, the content of the quotation, right? Then there are 3 codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So it means that without reading this quotation, your supervisor already knows that the content of this quotation is about AAXX and ZZ1. Is it clear? Then we have the second document. Article 2. This is Article 2, the second document. It's a PDF document. There is no quotation. So basically nothing to explain about this, right? The next one, the same as the second one. The fourth one also the same, because we didn't create any quotations. And as you can see, there is no a small triangle next to D2, D3, and D4. Is it clear? Then we have the audio file. So it's an audio document. There are two quotations here created by me. The first one is quotation 5.1, which the duration is 6 seconds in this audio file. Audio is the name of the document, right? And here it's just a, it's not this, I mean, it's not played, but it just shows that this is maybe just a quotation, you know, it's a matter of visualizing an audio quotation. And then this quotation has been coded with these 5 codes. Is it clear? Next, we have quotation 5.2. The duration is 1 minute and 37 seconds. And it's in our audio file. And there are 8 quotations. There are 8 codes assigned to this quotation in my project. Then we have the next one, document number 6. It's a graphic document. There is 1 quotation. The number of quotation is 6.1. And here is the dimension of the quotation. This is the dimension of the quotation, and this is the name of the document, which is image. And here you can see the content, because the content of a graphic document can be displayed in a report, but the content of a with audio file, audio quotation cannot be displayed. Is it clear? Then for the next one, nothing. For the video document, you can see that we have only 1 quotation, quotation 8.1, 16 seconds, and there are a few pictures from that particular audio quotation already in the report, which is really nice. And then you can see that there are 3 codes assigned to this quotation, right? Next, we have Microsoft Word document. There are 2 quotations here. And the format of this document is text document, as you know. There are 2 quotations, quotation 9.1. This is the content of the quotation. And these are the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. And quotation 9.2, this is the content of the quotation. And there are 6 codes assigned to this quotation, right? Then we have board 2 mini project. This is the name of the document, as you can see here. It's here. And there are 7 quotations here. 10.1 to 10.7. This is the context. This is the text, sorry. There are 2 codes, e-learning leadership and leadership behavior. 10.2, this is the content, and these are the 4 codes assigned to this quotation. Then we have 10.3 with 6 codes. We have 10.4 with 6 codes. We have 10.5 with 1 code, and we have 10.7 and 10.8 with 2 codes here and 2 codes. Remember, we deleted one of the quotations, if you remember, right? So that's why we don't have 10.6 here anymore. Is it clear? And then for the memo, the last document, there is no quotation. So just imagine you use a software, your supervisor asks you for a report of what you have done. You just create this report, send it to him or her. Then how he or she will determine how he or she will see you as a graduate student, you know? Just imagine this is the difference between a high quality student and the low quality student. So if you just use this, your supervisor will be happy, you will be proud of what you have done, and he will efficiently and effectively engage in your research because he or she can see the value in what you have done. But if you do a qualitative research, your supervisor asks for some evidence, you give him or her a lot of papers, then he will certainly he will not have time to check all of that. But just a simple report like this makes his life much easier, right? So you can save it as a PDF file or as a Word document. Any questions? No? Are you tired? Do you want me to give you 10 minutes break time? Yes? I'll just give you, it's 2:47. I'll just give you, I'm very kind, I'll give you 13 minutes, not 10 minutes. 13 minutes break time. After that, we will continue with something that is basically like playing. It's not analysis. We just create some figures. It's just like drawing, you know? So it's quite fun. If you are tired, don't worry about that. I just kept this portion for right now because I know that you are also tired. It doesn't really consume a lot of cognitive resources, so it's easy. Then I will show you how you can create networks. We just play with these networks and just create some networks, and then we go home. Tomorrow morning, what we are going to do is very important because we will focus on code co-occurrence analysis, code document table, query tool. That is very important. So you should be fresh in the morning. So we will continue at 3.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
So, Professor, yeah, it is better using this software than using Excel, memo code. It is better to use this software to code.
For coding or thematic analysis, it's always a good idea to use a software. You can use this, you can use NVivo or any other software. But Excel doesn't, I don't think that Excel is a suitable software to do qualitative data analysis. Because you said Excel, right? Or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I say Excel because we can put this text, the document in the cell.
No, sorry.
No.
Excel just I my understanding just use by myself.
Yeah,
Myself.
by myself.
And then put everything in the Excel
By hand.
encoding and
By mind.
Just one sentence.
I think they should spend 200, if you want to use this, just spend 200 ringgit.
Yeah.
Purchase a student license. Just make your research more interesting, more fun for yourself. You know, it's just,
Otherwise.
or if USM has subscription for NVivo, you just use it. Excel is not a suitable software for this.
yeah.
So还是要这个。
So I'll see you in 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is it higher?
Not for you.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
See, I also have.
Yeah. So when we have meetings, I always sit there and I also suffer from this. I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I cannot also ask people to switch it off because so but you did a good job. It's a very smart move, you know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay.
Okay, I see you in 10 minutes.
他还是说要用这软件的。
其实你前面不是还是要输出你所有的文本，把它就是熟读，然后你只是把自己人工的这个编码阶段变成了用它来编码。用软件，其实用软件正是我们自己没有编辑。按道理我们不是把所区分之后，按照自己的理解把这段标了，然后出来这段标了，其实你还是这样，因为你还是自己想的。但他只是用它来编，是可以选这种接触。你看我就是用一次就搞了，对吧？
可以吗？
我觉得不好。
都可以吗？
然后呢，最后就搞出来一个对。再来跟我的对一边嘛，对。对，是很对，我们其实没有把它，但是还没有语言，因为一个把这个全部的，但是没有整个
我还没有走到那一步。
级别嘛，2级别嘛，反正我是 coding，然后 category，然后对呀，subcategory，对 subcategory，对呀，然后什么地方，对对对，什么？
没有，不是，就是一个定义，然后就是定义，就是按照这个来。
就你这个级码实际上是 category，这样意思吧？
对对，
分类。这个好像是编码的，真的是就是给绞尽脑汁，然后编了不同的颜色，把整个颜色放在一起，最后没有那个三个导码什么这个会议在哪？然后会议在哪？我原来编那个，然后为什么我们需要去然后现场做给这个就是那你不是一个就卖的对不对？下一个就是
这个也是没有六的是吧？是，我是没有六的加没有六的。那个我
谁不敢说？
很拉低。
六呢？
然后是在学的到正常，还是到后这本先上去的。全部都是自己导师的，没有导师一样，我没有的。这个分析的那个你导师肯定要一个，但是其实还好，那个一块也关键不是那个小分析，然后来这里说的，看来你更是来了，是100多篇啊。我就想问你，问这个 professor， 你要问他是可不可以用在那个 Word 去或者 Microsoft？ 从来没看过人家用在，有的用的有的用的是什么 Boss Review，Boss View。
可这样啊？
就比如说我不太会用，但我会，
比如说 Boss View，或者还有是什么 Site 文章。
所以他们没有。用完，他们想为了那个，
我才很累，我觉得
就是怕就是谁呀，就可以，
对呀，可以。
因为其实我还能
不会你知道吗？如果你做6的话，然后可能我要选一个相关的，可是不会这还要去这个懂。
但是手工方法肯定比较准确，但是你要用手啊，但是什么时候有一些我基本上都是人工3成，我在什么时候的确，因为我3成说的是，我就看那个 app， 就看那个就很好，然后看的是 OK 觉得好，我就换的是比较读的，我可能到时候读的时候发现一整篇没什么关系，然后再看第二的时候，不是都全部出来，
好懂艺术学院，
我这一本看
的什么谁？看谁呀？啊，明天好像要翻第二了。哦，明天哦对，26、27是明天就是16早上才跟我讲，27号也会吃，因为他忙。
这个好吃吗？这个？
这个也好吃，
小孩子说好吃，巧克力味。
好吃，这牌子都挺好吃的。我准备这回再回去点，去超市买的。
那个姑娘的外语发音很标准，你是在哪儿？待过。
没在哪儿，是在马来西亚。
我听她的外语发音很南华人嘛。
从小就学英语。
没有，老师不开心。
从小学的是我在家里都是说方言福建话吗？
但我发现你说的就是美式发音很重。
你们说什么时候开始学？
当时华人应该英式多一点。没有华人吗？
啊，对，华人。也没有吧，就
你跟华人的那个口音也不重。一般当地华人说的英语也会有口音。
有吗？怎么样的口音啊？
因为有几个华人，我跟他们聊天的时候，我觉得一听就是华人的口音，
说的人就是
华人的英语
啊，
但是也听得懂，他会有一点点，就是可能因为马来语的这个拐过去了，但
是我们平时也没什么说嘛 ，Lucky，
啊
，Lucky，主要说的都还是中文。你往里，
你是很读中吗？
你往上国中，考呗，国中，中文也学，马来文也学，英语也学。
华人是必须要上华文学校，是不是？
不一定，就可以选择上或者不上。
并且选国中也好，读中也好，或者是 还有什么特点？国际学校第三个，国际学校也 OK 吗？国际学校。
国际部分没有学中文吧？
有为什么我看有的学校也有体育中文课啊？
那他把学要改。
哎，我中学读的那间是，它强制性我们拿中文的，就必须拿。
国中
资助吧。可是也得分，就国中有些国中就政府不资助。有些是华校，就是马来校，有些是英校，我读的是华校。
华校是不是就叫国中？国中是什么意思？
国中就是你得付钱，国中是不花钱的。
啊，就是国中的话是有一部分政府资助的，
完全不花钱的。
我的意思是，
就是只要他有一半来到说明，对这个去读，一分钱都不花。国中还是要花钱的，
国中的话很好吧？为什么还要花钱？
对，国中不考那个，不考那个，都不考试，然后而且读中他们高考毕业出来成绩就不大。就可能当不了公务员，
涉及到
成绩压力，
就你考的多好没有
啊。
所以基本上读国中的话，他们很多都是在争取高考，就很多读学校他们在争取着，希望他们的高考成绩政府是可以承认的。
那如果政府不承认，他们将来考大学怎么办？
就中国读书啊，台湾
他们好多北京人这个将来是去中国或者去台湾那边读大学，那边是不接的。
就至少说承认。
但是这个大马的标准不承认。那你说选择好像还是也是
可是读书感觉学的东西比较广啊，所以比较多，而且感觉读比较多的是英文，基本上没有什么读马来文，就是和那些马来文不好的去读吧。
马来文
对吧？
你们这吗？
看人嘛，你要求在哪里啊？如果说完全是看人，一个人就容易
另外注意吧，合作也是花烂茶。第一开始的话还是要申请，大学要考还是猫啊？
可以考，基本就是华人考不上，
考不上，
就那你大学
你自己 give 完拿了那个
大学吧，经济大学、USM、UM 这些比较好，就华人有很多会有不打对爱，是可能也是华人的存在，就在另一半人群。那如果华人非常的好 ，yesterday because I have 实力，2万实力的。
人呢，本来是这个人。
学校
Here at around 8:30 like this.
在里面
So maybe my friend tomorrow will come. Maybe I will try her tonight. So you will have a job. You will not skip home. You know, your brother said it's sleep. You have now?
然后 master 的时候就在
Because yesterday it just sit here and so.
远啊，
No, today no.
我来靠离我家那个地方。导师就可以给我发工资了，你没有个工资拿的。
就是你分成或者均
你给我钱，给你讲。那这次讲就是我帮他也是工作的练嘛，然后我是不是有学位？上的时候就
都还在定义，而是It's so enjoyed. Now enjoy the team. So, how did you
Okay, the last part for today is about networks. Networks, what are networks? Networks are how we can visualize data elements in our project. And when I say data elements, mainly I refer to codes and quotations, despite you can add memos and also documents into your networks. So networks are displayed using this icon, and also network groups are displayed using this icon. So you can create groups for your networks. There are two types of networks. One of them are semantic networks or named linkages or named networks. The other one is unnamed linkages, or they also call it second order networks. So there are two types of networks, and now I'm going to show you a few examples. But before that, something that is important is that when we are working with codes in a network or even in our project, from a quantitative perspective, we are working at theoretical level. And when we focus on quotations, we are basically working at data level. So data level is the lowest level of analysis. The upper level is theoretical level. So remember, those theoretical levels, it means that we have a theory, a connection between some codes. And remember, codes in qualitative research are equivalent to variables in quantitative research. That's why when we are dealing with codes, it means that we are working at a theoretical level, because we can connect them with one another and create a network or a theoretical framework. All right, now look at this. This is the first example of a network. Here what you can see is that there is one code. Here, let me just maximize it and use this pen. All right, so we have one code here, right? And there are three quotations coming from different documents, right? Quotation 3.2, quotation 4.1, quotation 2.9, and quotation 6.1 are coded with the code accountability in this example, right? So you can visualize a code with its connected quotations in a network. So it just makes it a little bit easier to understand. You know, you just display everything in a network, in a figure. This is one example of an unnamed network, because the link between this code and the quotations here, 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 and here, you don't see any definition here. It's a matter of coding. You know, these quotations have been coded with this code. So there is no specific type of relationship here. Look at this. This is one example of a named network. And you can see that this quotation, quotation 2142, explains this quotation, which is quotation 2139. Also, quotation 2138 explains this quotation. This quotation justifies this quotation. So you can see that it's a named network, because the nature of the relationship between these quotations is displayed in this figure, right? So you know how these quotations are related to one another. Is it clear? So it is one example of a named or semantic network. And now we are working at data level, because we are focusing on just quotations. So we are dealing with our data. We are working and we are analyzing our data we are analyzing at data level. Is it clear? Next, we have another example. If you look at here, you can see that I have one code here, another code here, and the relationship between these codes is defined here as well. Also, I have provided empirical evidence for the quotations that support this code and this code. Is it clear? Also note that the beauty of this network is that it just shows that this quotation is coded with both of the codes, isn't it? So just imagine you have visualized how two codes are related to one another. You have also provided empirical evidence to show You have also provided empirical evidence for any of these codes, and interestingly, you can see that one of these quotations supports or is coded with both of these two codes. So in fact, the content of this code contains information about effectiveness and accountability. Is it clear? Very good. Next, we have a network that just shows how a few codes in red color are a part of a central code, right? Just imagine you just tell your supervisor that, oh, I'm focusing on the codes and I can see that there are some codes that are a part of another code. And your supervisor will tell you, oh, how can you visualize it for me? I can't understand this. Then you just create this network and just pass it to him or her. Then he will say, wow, that's really nice. So it's another semantic or named network that just shows how these codes are related to one another. Is it clear? Now here we are working at theoretical level, not data level, because we are just focusing on these codes. Is it clear? Next, we have another code, another network here. And if you just pay attention, you can see that we have a code group, and these are the members of this code group, right? So the red dotted line here indicates membership. These are the members of this central code group, right? Is it clear? So this is another example of an unnamed network. And now look at this. Your supervisor, you just show the previous slide, this one, supervisor. Your supervisor will tell you that's nice, but can you provide some empirical evidence for any of these codes? And then you will say, no problem, Prof. I can do that. This is the same network here, but for one of them, as you can see, I have provided empirical evidence. So these are the quotations that basically coded with this code, and this code is also a member of this central code, right? So you can see that, I mean, you can visualize what you have done in terms of coding, how codes are related to quotations, how a few codes are related to one another, how a few quotations are related to one another. So it's really interesting, isn't it? And the last one is another example here. Again, we have a named network. There are 3 codes here, and they are associated with one another. And all of these 3 are, in fact, influencing or causing this one and this one, right? If you have done some basic analysis, you already know that it's similar to a structural equation modeling in quantitative research. So there are 3 predictors influencing 2 outcome variables. If you have some experience about quantitative analysis, this is just exactly what you do in quantitative analysis. You have predictors and outcome variables, and you just try to see how they are related to one another. Here we have built this model. In quantitative research, we test this model. So in qualitative research, we build a theory like this, then we pass it to quantitative researchers. Quantitative researchers, they collect data effectiveness for work, for leadership, for management, and for skills. Then they use a structural equation modeling programs or some other statistical programs to test the theoretical model that we have built. Is it clear? Very nice. Now let's go to, this is just something that we are going to explore next tomorrow. Very important. In the morning, we will cover all of them. But anyway, I'm just going to end the software to demonstrate networks can be created. Go out from here. Exit. Okay, discard. All right. Now let's ATLAS.ti. Let's just create a new network. If you want to create a network, it's very simple. You can just go here, right click, and then create a new network. You can go to entities, select new network. So, I mean, there are different possibilities. You can click on this and create a network as well. But the network here, if you select the code and create network, this code is displayed in a network. So let's just create a network from scratch. How we can do that? I just go here, create a new network. So the name of the network will be Net-A. All right. Now I want to create a named network between some quotations. So this is the first example. I just go to my documents. I select the quotations that I would like to insert in this network. So quotation 1.1, from here this quotation, from here this quotation, and from this document this quotation. So you can add quotations from different documents. I mean, there is no limitations. Is it clear? Or let me just make this 5, I think is all right. Is it clear? Now, if you want, you can see a preview of this. So show quotation preview, see? And then you can see the preview of the quotation as well.
These are the guys that resist to the death. We have a tendency to try to pull them in, to co-opt them in the process, to work away and change their mind.
Okay, do you know this guy, anyone? His name is Professor John Cutter, and he is almost the most famous person in change management and leadership. And in this video, it's interesting. He says that in the process of change, sometimes you want to make some changes in an organization. And then there are some people who always resist to change. Normally, what we want to do is that we just try to make them a part of the team. We want to include them in the process so that they just do the job. They just help applying making the changes. And according to him, it's hopeless. You don't need to do that, because if they don't want to, if they resist, they really, and after you include them in the process, still they don't do anything, and they just cause more trouble for you. So if there are some people, based on his discussion, if you want to make changes and there are some people who resist to change, better to exclude them and then do the job with some people who have willingness to make those changes. But anyways, you can also here also you can see the preview of this quotation and also this one as well. All right, now let me just remove this quotation preview because I want this to be a little bit smaller so that we can simply do that. Let's assume that we study all of these quotations, read them, listen to them, watch them, and to us, maybe this quotation is related to this quotation. Maybe it explains the other quotation. So you can simply connect them based on what? You cannot simply connect them without any reasons. As long as you have justifications to connect them, you can connect them. Is it clear? Again, I'm just showing the technical aspect of the job. We assume that what I did is true. But in fact, you have to check everything. You have to make sure that this quotation explains the other one and then connect them. All right? Then it will be able, it can be helpful to answer your research questions. Is it clear? let's just connect some of them to other networks. So you can see there are different types of relationships within quotations. Maybe this one expands the other one. Maybe this one supports this one. Maybe this one justifies this one. Maybe this one also contradicts this one. And maybe this one discusses this one. So you can simply link these quotations with one another. Is it clear? Yes? But remember, these linkages can only be done as long as you have justification. You have to read all of these quotations. You have to listen to those audio quotations. You have to watch those video quotations and make sure that you are doing a good job in terms of relating these quotations with one another. Is it clear? So what I do is just a demonstration of the technique. All right, now, if you want, you can, let me just show you some interesting features. You can change the layout. Actually, you can ask ATLAS.ti to change the layout of this. Obviously, you can drag and drop any of these to some certain positions, right? So you can do this. If you want, you can ask ATLAS.ti to take care of this for you. For example, maybe you want this type. Maybe you want this type. Maybe you want, you can just select them and see how it works. Which one is better to explain, to just communicate your message with the audience. Is it clear? So you have some different layouts, and you can simply select them from here. See, there are different layouts. You can simply use them. Another thing is that you can export this as an image file or a PDF file and just use it in your articles. See, so I just exported this into an image file. All right. Next is that you can add, for example, the documents as the neighbors to these networks. So for example, for this one, I want to include the document 9. So I just right click on that and I select add neighbors, and then I select documents. So here you can see that I have document D9. This one is the first quotation from D9, isn't it? So you can also include all the documents if you want. Then you can again change the layout. Even you can, you can change the layout like that. You can still try to modify the layout as well, as you can see here. All right. If you want, you can add for example, if you want, you can add the codes that have been assigned to this quotation by right-clicking on that and then select add neighbors, and this time you select code. I just put them here. But one thing that is important here to understand is that, look at this. These are the I requested that have been assigned to this quotation. Am I right? But now you can see that ATLAS.ti knows that despite this code is connected to this quotation, it is also connected to this quotation as well. That's why the link is automatically displayed here. You get my point? Initially, I wanted to display all the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So this one, these are the codes, right? When they are imported into this figure, ATLAS.ti connects these with all the other available quotations in this network, as long as there is a relationship here. Is it clear? So it means that, for example, focusing on this, you can see that, or maybe this one. This one, this one. Look at this, I just put it there. You can see that this code BB and also this code C not only have applied to 5.1, but also applied to 6.1. And all of these are displayed here automatically. So it's interesting. If you do this manually, 100% it's impossible that you don't make mistakes when you are creating this. Because you have to, just imagine it's a very simple project with a few quotations and quotes. In your real research, you have a lot of quotes and quotations, and if you want to do this, it will be impossible. But using this, you can simply do that. Isn't it beautiful? So, if you want, you can export it and then use it in some other softwares or as a picture. If you want, you can remove something from here. For example, I don't want this quotation. Or maybe I don't want this document. I remove it. I don't want this quotation. I remove it. Right? You want to rename something. Well, maybe you want to rename this code. You just rename it to HHH. And immediately it is applied everywhere. Okay? Any questions? No? Another interesting thing is that just imagine if you want, you can do coding in a network. Just look at this. This is a code here that I have, code L, right? I want to code this quotation 11 with code L. I just drag and drop it here. Oh, sorry, here the link is not created, but you can simply connect like this. So it is coded now, right? These green links between quotes and quotations means that the quotations have been coded with the code. So you can just add this one here, and then you just connect it with this. So you can see basically this quotation now is coded with these two codes. So you can modify this figure in any ways that you would like. Is it clear? Any questions? Let's just close this. This is the one that we created. Let me close all of this. I double click on that and you can simply open it here. So basically, even if you want to add some other information, you can simply select the codes, everything from here and just add it there. I mean, it's very simple. You can, if you just go to the network manager, you can group them, you can rename them, you can delete them, you can duplicate them, whatever you did for, almost whatever you did for documents or codes, you can do it here. So I just drag and drop these two to create a new network. So it will be network group A, something like that. Is it clear? If you want to delete that, you can delete them. If you want to duplicate, you can duplicate that. So I just duplicate this. So you can see that it is duplicated now. Then you rename this. Very simple. You just change it to net B, something like this. Is it clear? So let's just create another network, but this time I'm going to just select codes. So net C. I just select this code, maybe this code, and this code, right? So if you look at their density, you can see that the density of all of them is 0. Look at BB, density is 0. AA, density is 0. HHH, density is 0. C, density is 0, right? Now if I connect them, you just need to just hover your mouse here and then remove your mouse and then select which relationship best explains the relationship between these two, which word explains the relationship between these two. So I just select maybe a casa. And now look at BB, density changed to 1. Look at HH, density changed to 1, this means that these two codes are connected, right? I just connect BB with C. Now the density value for BB is 2, but for C it is still 1 because there is only that is connected to this. Let me just add a memo to this network. So I just add a memo and I just try to connect this with a code. Now you can see that the density of this memo changed to 1. Let me just add this one as well. If I just select this and drag and drop it here, now here you can see that the density for memo 1 is 2. The density for memo 2 is 1 because there is only one memo that is connected to this. If I select this and link it with this code, then the density of memo 2 will also be 2. Is it clear? Again, you can have all of these built-in features to create a network like that. And you can still save it into a PDF file. You can print it. You can save it as an image file. So basically, it's a matter of how you visualize the codes and the quotations with one another. So you just build this. This means that the process of thematic analysis is complete now. So the basic process of thematic analysis is completed. Why? Because we imported our documents, we read all of the documents, we went through all of the documents, we created quotations, we coded the quotations, and also we, based on the data that we had collected, based on some theoretical grounds, we managed to link these codes and quotations with one another as well. So we have visualized our findings, and depending on what is our research question, this network is the answer to the question. But with this, it's just a fake exam, a fake project, something like that. Basically, you cannot use this to answer any specific research question. But in fact, this network is the final answer to our research questions. Is it clear? So this is the process of thematic analysis, which is complete now. Tomorrow, what we are going to do is that we are going to extend these results. We are going to see whether there are relationships, strong or weak relationships between the codes or the variables, whether we can develop a theory that explains how groups are different in terms of one or a few codes. We also create some queries and to explore our data in a very rich and structured way, to examine our quotations more thoroughly and more accurately. Any questions? No? So if you look at this slide, you can see that the process of thematic analysis is now complete. We have already created the networks, and basically this network, even if you don't visualize it, at this stage, the process analytically is completed. From an analytical perspective, it is completed. The network is just to visualize the findings, how the codes and quotations and everything, every element that we have are related to one another, just to help the audience of our papers or research better understand what we have done. So network, in fact, it doesn't have any analytical value. It just helps people understand what we did in the previous step, which is creating codes and themes and all of this. Is it clear? Yes? Any questions? No? Are you tired?
No.
Okay, online people, do you have any questions? Any questions from online participants? All right, let me see if we have anything in the chat box. Okay, nothing. So tomorrow what we're going to do is that we just talk about word cloud and word list just 5 minutes, because I told you it doesn't really have analytical value that much. It just shows the frame of the word. So basically, I mean, it cannot help us to do analysis. It's just a matter of finding how we can it's just a matter of showing to us. I also have consumed all of my cognitive resources. So, explaining something in another language, it really consumes the resources, Oh, okay. So this word cloud is not that much important. Why? Because it just creates word clouds and word lists, and basically it doesn't involve in-depth analysis. It just tells us what the document is generally all about. Is it clear? Then we have code document table, code co-occurrence table, and the query tool. These are very important. In the morning session when you are fresh, we try to get this job done. Also, I would like to show you how you can import some references from EndNote or reference manager. This is something that we do in the afternoon. And another thing that I will do in the afternoon, because again, it doesn't really requires much of your cognitive resources, is that I will just show you a few of these options here to see how automatic coding or coding based on artificial intelligence can be carried out. This is again something that it's very simple, but I will show you in tomorrow afternoon, not in the morning. For the morning, I want your brain to be very sharp for the discussions about code document table, query tool, and code co-occurrence analysis. Is it clear? Then we are done with, if we do this, then it means that we have achieved our objective.
As for systematic review,
And that's how you import articles from your EndNote or reference manager. Then you can see that you can do that systematic review, because you read your articles, you create quotations. It means that the important data segment, right? Obviously, when you why and how you do literature review. You read the article, you highlight important segments, and then you use it in your thesis, right? It's simple here. You just create quotations, create a report. So you have all of those quotations in Microsoft Word document. You just need to paraphrase it maybe to avoid plagiarism, and then you just use it in your, even you can code them. You can assign some codes to those important data segments to just help you better understand the literature. For example, you are doing a quantitative research. Okay, let's show you one example here, because your question is quite interesting. So just imagine you are focusing on, let me just create a network. These are my documents, right? These are my maybe my articles, right? So you are focusing on, you want to do literature review for one hypothesis. What is your hypothesis? Maybe your hypothesis is that AA or job performance, or let me just use another one. Maybe your hypothesis is that leadership behaviors influence in visioning change. So this is a hypothesis, isn't it? This is a hypothesis in quantitative research, right? You want to test this. You have to do literature review for this. So how you do that? You just find related to this, all of the quotations related to this, and also some literature that supports this linkage, this causal relationship between this variable and this variable. But the most important one is the literature or theoretical grounds to connect these two. Then you just, when you do this, you just show all of these quotations as their evidence for this and also as the evidence for this variable. So you just show all of the quotations. And for this one, you can also consider doing the literature review. You can, you have to make sure that your literature review supports this relationship, and then basically you can copy all of this into your thesis. One thing that I want to tell you is that if you right click on any of these linkages that you built, right now that I just told you, I just add this. You can unlink the relationship between two codes by just selecting this, or even you can reverse the linkage. Just look at this. This one is the cause of this. Now I select this, right click on that and reverse it. Now this one is a cause of this. So you can also change the relationships between the codes as well. But anyways, if you import your articles into ATLAS.ti, create quotations and quote them and try to link them, basically 90% of that systematic literature review has already been done. The most important thing is that you find some evidence, empirical evidence in literature or theoretical evidence from theories to support you how you link these two variables to one another. Okay, I think we received one question here. Can you show us how to prepare coding based in transcripts for qualitative study? Prepare coding based on transcripts for qualitative study. I'm not sure if I understood your question correctly, or maybe I cannot make sense of that. Can you show us how to prepare coding based on transcripts for qualitative study? So let's assume that this is any of these textual documents here that we have could be a transcript. So you just need to read that, create quotations, and just, do it. Or maybe you can explain a little, can I transcribe data interview recording using ATLAS.ti? No, you cannot do that, but there is one option here, if I'm not mistaken here, you can import transcript as long as it is an audio file, something like that. So I can see that all of these are audio and video files. You can import this, but you can, obviously you cannot ATLAS.ti to transcribe text into audio, but you can import the transcript, the transcripts from other resources into ATLAS.ti. And anyways, better to do this yourself, not computer software, because this is the data. Even if your computer does this, you have to verify it, because your future depends on this. Your academic career depends on what you do here. Okay, any other questions? All right, if you don't have questions, I'm going to end the session for today. So tomorrow, be fresh. We will start with those advanced issues.